Rec League Podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your haters. Available on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Good Pods, Pocket Cast, Breaker, and Stitcher. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. At Rec League Pod on Twitter. Episode 138. Available now. Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram, or YouTube itself. What up, world? It's the end of June. It's the end of June. It's the end of June. It's the end of the first half of the year. It's the end of the second quarter. April, May, June. Y'all know how I do my top 3 every 3 months of whatever end of the subsequent quarter has just closed. Felt like Austin Powers. Allow myself to introduce myself. April, like I said, April, May, June, second quarter of the year. Got a lot of good stuff. Dev Patel directorial debut, new Radio Silence, new Guy Ritchie, the threesome tennis movie came out, new David Leitch in May. If I say new Rennie Harlan, is that a plus or a minus? New George Miller, new Planet of the Apes. June, we got a new Bad Boys, new Pixar, new Jeff Nichols. A Quiet Place got a prequel. It was a good quarter. My third favorite movie of the second quarter of 2024, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. They pay so much homage and respect to the Andy Serkis-led trilogy. I want to say Nicholas Hamilton did mocap for Noah, the new face of this franchise. I just thought it was such a great direction that the franchise in general goes into. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's like we get a new protagonist who isn't really familiar with Caesar, and Caesar in this ape society is such a legend, and I hate to use the phrase, but kind of like a Jesus-like figure. And Noah is trying to forge his own path among the antagonist, Proximus Caesar, who does what a lot of humans in real life do and warp and mold the teachings of what was history for their own gain and benefit and shit. And then the way it ended and possibly set up more Apes movies, man, it was just really well done. At number 2, number two was my number 1 for most of this quarter. So that's as much love as saying that it is number 1, almost. My number 2 was Civil War. Alex Garland bouncing back off of Men, which I didn't particularly love. And all 4 of his directorial efforts are so different. Style, tone, message, whatever. And it's basically just this road trip movie in a dystopian, broken America. Reporters are just trying to get an interview, and this movie was so divisive that like some people didn't like it, maybe because there wasn't like real war, it like a political stance wasn't taken, bro. That's what made it so good. Kirsten Dunst, Wagner Moura, Callie Spaney. It was just so good. It was so fucking good. And then the ending and the parallels with the characters, obviously the Jesse Plemons moment, I really loved it. My number 1, my favorite movie of the second quarter of 2024. I would not be surprised if this movie ends up as my favorite movie all year, because right now it is my number 1 overall. But let's be honest, like the first quarter was kind of light. Favorite movie of the second quarter of 2024 was Inside Out 2. Like Pixar really showed their ass. Riley maturing and developing, and basically, does she continue to be a good person, or does she become a bad person? That's the internal struggle. Does your anxiety take over to the point where you betray your friends, you make selfish decisions, and you just become a shell of who you used to be? Beautiful animation, great voice acting, like such interesting new characters. And like as much as we got Riley in the first movie making heavy decisions, like moving from home, not knowing anybody, making those big decisions, just as big of decisions are made in Inside Out 2. Amy Poehler, Phyllis Smith, Lewis Black. We got Tony Hale and Eliza Lapira coming in for Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling. But then Maya Hawke, Ayo Edebiri, Paul Walter Hauser all voice new characters. And yeah, like after Toy Story, Inside Out is just, I think, the best franchise Pixar has now. What were some of your favorite second quarter movies? Let me know. Drop a comment. What are we looking forward to? July, August, September. Despicable Me 4, Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F on Netflix, Maxine, Fly Me to the Moon, Twisters, Deadpool and Wolverine, Trap, Borderlands, Alien Romulus, Beetlejuice, Transformers 1, what's it called? The Wild Robot from DreamWorks is coming. I don't fully remember everything coming out in September, but I know there is like one banger a week every week in September. Let me know what you're looking forward to, man. Rec League Podcast. We talked 1984 and how dope movies were 40 years ago. I just put up a review for Quiet Place Part 1. Within the next week or so, I want to review Despicable Me, Beverly Hills Cop, and Maxine. That's the plan. If my theater gets Maxine, we'll see. So, like, subscribe, comment. Find me where you find me, man. Don't know where to find me. Watch these credits. Peace.